Welcome to day 4, part 4. If you're watching the replay, if you are live with me, welcome. If you have been here for the past 3 weeks, good stuff showing up for yourself. How to activate beyond SMART goals. This is from my class of the mindset of the entrepreneur. Whether you're thinking about having your own business, have been in business, or yeah, or not. These are basic life skills that are not taught in school, my friend. And again, what do I mean by entrepreneurs? We activate our written goals, we develop and evolve ourselves, putting that mask on us tightly secure, and we encounter problems with solutions. So I'm gonna get right into the 3 things that we talk about from the Enlifted method. We've been talking about target. Only 3% of people write down their goal. All we do here is grab lots of pens and start typing in. If you want to join in the comments, even if you're watching the replay, it's great because I will absolutely reply back. And so please make sure when you come back to it, you could come back to some notes or additional things. So target, we drafted and crafted from very vague and broad out there to making them more specific by adding the magic word I, and then because, getting really clear why you want a certain thing, because clarity comes before focus. So and then we went into we're gonna do another game with that. And if you are live with me, your feedback will be greatly appreciated. And again, if you're watching the replay, same thing. Love to hear about that. So we're tapping into the bottom of the iceberg. You could go back to the first 3 days, or right now get very specific. I want blah, blah, blah. Take out one, put in I get to da, 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 your gold. Okay. And what we did yesterday was talking about what happens when we have an awesome morning or a great first quarter of the year. It kicks off momentum. And we talked about the action dispels overwhelm. My friend over a 14-day filmmaking, he talks about massive imperfect action. It's diving into your dream. And I started talking about one of my dreams, which was to fly a plane, and how we went for an intro, right? Imagine going for like a whole degree, and that's not something you like. This is why internships are so important. This is why volunteering, getting your hands dirty in the field to see if this is something that you actually want to do, if there is a connection to that. I did promise, but one of the things in this intro was like literally an intro. Those are my notes, and it's right here. And you know what? Kudos to you for showing up, because a lot of times we're basically afraid. And we have a lot of limiting beliefs, and why not give it a try for a shorter period of time? So this is the video. Hopefully you can hear it. Oh, look at this one coming down. Ooh. Oh no! Look at the cemetery! That cemetery was literally across. Jeez. Does the cemetery have to be right next to it? That's crazy. So we flew from Long Island to Connecticut, and Jimmy went in first, and I went in second. It was definitely an interesting experience, and I'm going to actually fast forward to the point where we got our lessons. Are you ready?
Okay, so master, fuel pump. Just a little bit of prime. This is like, your car back in the days before you started.
That's a nervous laugh.
Yeah. Are all planes like that? Yeah, because basically the way we turn the plane off is we kill a mixture. So it drains the fuel out of the cylinder. So there's no fuel in there, so we got to introduce fuel in order to catch a little spark in order to start.
That sounds scary. And I was. All right. Anyway, so right there was the beginning. How do I mute this? The beginning of his lesson, mini lesson. It literally took 15 minutes for us because really the pilot had obviously all the controls. The one thing that he did let us do was take off. So like this dream of Patty in the attic in Peru, if you were here yesterday, of pretending she was flying actually became a reality under $300 and in a 2-hour experience. And in order to get this, took Jimmy's research and Groupon. There's Jimmy taking off. As you can tell, he is very tense and very nervous, obviously. And I threw him in to go first. I was like, why don't we test it with you? Thank you and kudos to my husband for being the brave leader in here. And so there he is. And so, took him, I don't know, babe, if you're in the live watching the replay, how long did it take to find a Groupon about an introductory flight? I'm pretty sure less than an hour, less than half an hour, I would say. It's literally go to Groupon if you are in New York and if you want to do this. And it's a beautiful experience, and it was a very cloudy day. When it's not cloudy, you can actually see Manhattan. And so again, most people were shocked. They're like, how much did you pay? Oh my goodness. And literally we said less than $300 for the both of us. And so there's a story with that, but anyway, not for this class, right? So then I went and, going through being nervous as well. And this is obviously during I believe this is 2021. And so you still had to wear a mask. And so, right here in the runway, because I saw Jimmy go first, right? I was like, okay, cool. He's not touching anything. He's got like the speed, all I got to do is pull that towards, like, it's something I've been wanting to do since I was a child, right? Like, this is my moment of truth. Yeah. And then at 60 miles per hour, boom, you take off. And there I am. Boom. Taking off into the sky. And obviously having that moment was pretty magical. I got really comfortable in it. I believe you'll see it here in a little bit, just swirling to the left and right and just really having a lot of fun. And again, I really want to thank my husband because, here I am like doing this with one hand, having conversations, because, it's very inspiring when somebody else goes and you get to see what's going on. And again, the view, being up in the air, knowing that, there I am making that laugh, just like going, wee, just basically as a child. And there I am making more turns. That's Connecticut and the other side. And so obviously this was an experience. And then if you want to watch this video, I'm going to put it in the comments in here. Check out his story. Okay, so this pilot story, it is the coolest story because he also was inspired on the fact that it's never too late, by an older pilot, as he's from Jamaica, and I believe this was in Jamaica where this woman pilot inspired him. It's like, what are you waiting for? Put in the hours, right? And so for me, this was definitely a confirmation of wanting to put the hours in the investment to fly, and making it more attainable, realistic. So here at the end of the video, that's when he shares his story. And the beautiful thing about his story is that at that moment in 2021, he was putting in his hours. He is now an American Airlines pilot, a pilot for one of the biggest airlines, which it is so cool to have been part of. Like, for me to tap into this dream, for him to share his story, and then to watch him. Like, I believe this happened 3 months afterwards. He got this position, and he's all about mindset. Really cool guy. If you want to follow him, I believe he's in the comments of this video. I'm not sure. Check it out. Follow him on Instagram as well. So anyway, that's the plane. That was that story with that. And you could also check out our blog, guys, which, if you want to go more into it, I do have the story in there too. I believe is somewhere in here. Yeah, flying a plane. And doing weekend bucket lists, because so many times we believe that we need to have lots of money, be retired, or be successful in order for us to check off our bucket list. So I actually also recently created another, actually I did, I'm going to share it, put it in here. My latest blog has been talking more about weekend bucket lists and how to go beyond that, right? And again, not waiting for that, which we're going to tap into today's class. So let's get into that. And so a lot of actually, I'm going to start here. Let's take out your magic wands, your pen and paper, and write. You fill in the blank on this. How could I ever afford flying a plane, or an introduction? How can I ever go overseas? How can I ever buy my dream Jeep? Go ahead, you fill in the blank of how could I ever afford XYZ. If you are joining in the live, or if you are in a replay, put it down there. Now, I want you to tell me what you see when you say that out loud. And most importantly, how do you feel when you say that out loud? How does it feel when you say, how could I ever afford XYZ? Okay. Go ahead, put that in the comments. This is a fun interactive game in here that we're going to do. Because this is how we poopies on our dreams, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, how it stops us from activating things. Scratch out ever, and I don't have the slide. Well, that's okay. And take out ever. And so the wording now is, how can I afford? I think it's right here. There you go. Take out that and ask yourself, how could I afford an introductory flight? How could I afford traveling overseas? How could I afford XYZ? What is the difference for you? And what is the imagery that you see? Please write it in the comments. Again, this is very interactive. And going into the thing that I use for my teens, it's like a lot of times we put the big number. This is what I need to, this is what I owe, this is what I need. Thousands, hundreds, right? Makes it very unattainable, okay? Because if you're broke, that $800 is a lot of money, right? How could I ever afford an iPhone? How could I afford an iPhone? Distance, solving problems by saving $100 a month. All right. And the last thing as we finish, we're gonna do a should detox. Right now we did an ever detox. Big difference. Actually, I'm gonna save that for tomorrow because I want to end right here. How could I ever do something? Ask yourself, how could I? Take out ever being this a binary language, right? It's black and white, either or. Take that out. What happens to your language? How can you activate your dream today again, friend, within the next 48 hours or the next 2 weeks? Let's go there, because tomorrow we'll talk about the 2 months and we'll talk about the power of repetition as being the mother of learning. Great job. Thanks for showing up for yourself today. Start asking yourself questions. Take out those binary big words that influence the way you feel and therefore your actions. How can you afford XYZ? I'll see you tomorrow and make it a solution day.